Right now, Houston is the worst team in basketball. They are
It's not a
on a
surprise.
12 loss streak right now. Lost the past 12. They are 10-35 on the season, which I mean, genuinely impressive. We don't even have anything like that reversed. It is hard to lose that many games, and I mean, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. and I don't even know who else is on the Rockets. I'm gonna be honest with you. Tari Eason,
Sengun. Sengun
Sengun.
is their man. He is.
Well,
When I watch the Rockets, and I've watched them twice in the last week or so, because they played the Kings. Um, Sengun is the only player on that team that looks like he has a future. Like, I don't know what people saw in Jalen Green. He just looks like an empty calorie scorer to me. Like, he put up 41 the other night, and
that
it
was
could have
it.
been anybody. It's like when Sadiq Bey put up 40. It's like, meh, what are you going to do with your career?
Yeah. So I mean,
Which it was a bad pick at the time. I thought when Houston selected him, I thought there was better prospects in the draft, and he's just proven it at the moment. Is that team? Like, I get having young players on your team. What Houston's doing, going like full in with the rebuild, but you've got to have some sort of mentorship there. And Eric Gordon's pretty checked out. He's not keeping Jalen Green in check. He's just being allowed to do whatever he wants, and at the moment, that's just resulting in empty stats.
and I mean, Eric Gordon's a great person to look for empty stats, in my opinion.
Well, he's also having one of his worst shooting seasons as well. So it's like
Very
he wants
true.
to get traded like he does every season from Houston.
I mean, this is the moment where we were talking about how veterans are starting to head out of the league, that veteran presence, but I mean, Houston definitely could use. I mean, Detroit did it with Bojan, and I mean, they're looking to trade off Bojan at the same time. But I mean,
Well, not even like Bojan. Like Detroit's got Bojan, they got Burks, they got Corey Joseph.
yeah, they
Like
they
there's
have
at least three
veterans.
steady heads. You've got Dwayne Casey. Like the coach is always going to be, the one that's in charge of trying to, teach the players. And Dwayne Casey's a coach of the year before, so like he knows what he's doing. I couldn't even tell you the name of the bloody Rockets coach. Like, but I'm pretty sure he's young. I
And I
don't think he
mean,
has that.
definitely. So I mean, the Rockets. I mean, if even if they get Wembanyama, they still have Sengun there. Like, how is that even gonna work? I mean, we've already tested the Rudy Gobert and Carl Anthony Towns thing. Be the same issue.
Oh, that team is not working at all. Like I thought they wouldn't, but
I don't think anyone in the league genuinely thought that the Towns Gobert duo was gonna work at all. You do not need two slow 7-footers and one of them taking up the paint the whole time. The other one not. I mean, he needs a lot more paint shots. He's not taking them anymore because Gobert is still in the way. And I mean,
yeah, I don't understand what the Timberwolves thought was going to happen. Like that team looked decent last year. Like
they
their
just need
playing run,
they just need another
they
year.
looked, yeah, they looked good against the Grizzlies in that playoff series. It was like, yeah, we just need another year of togetherness. Maybe get rid of D'Lo. Give
That
Edwards more touches. That's all they needed to do, and they're like, no, we'll get Gobert. Like what?
I mean, he was. I was when I because I'm Jazz fan, and I'm gonna talk about this because I mean I was a Rudy Gobert fan because he was on my team, but like when when we knew that we were deconstructing everything, I thought we were gonna be stuck with Rudy Gobert. I didn't think we were getting a trade for him, and if we were, it was gonna be a bad trade. Like it was gonna be like a downgrade and still be an old guy that we're gonna be stuck with. Kind of like not to throw Mike Conley out there. I love Mike Conley, but we were gonna get another Mike Conley caliber player back and maybe like a draft pick. And then Minnesota
Yeah,
just gave
Derek
us
Favors and two
everything.
first rounders or something.
Yeah. They just gave us everything. And I mean, that was a huge benefit of a trade. I think Utah would probably be winning Wembanyama if we didn't get that trade. Because I mean, we did not need Gobert. And I mean, Walker Kessler is proving that literally anyone could step into the Rudy Gobert role.
He had like a 2020 the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, he did have a 2020 like 2 days ago, which
Yeah,
was
that's
insane.
insane.
He's averaging like around the same amount of blocks as Gobert was. He's not necessarily going to be winning DPOY. He's not that big of a defensive presence, but I mean, he's taking on Hassan Whiteside's role. He's doing more scoring than Gobert. I mean, at least skill wise, and he looks like a lot more of a promising player. And I think he could definitely surpass Rudy Gobert, if not, be on the same level as him within the next 4 years.
I think the thing with Gobert, like, was that the whole team was built, the whole scheme of Utah was built around him. Like, and it made him look a lot, like they covered a lot of his deficiencies and the fit around him was perfect. And, like, that team never did anything, no offense.
The reason,
Like,
yeah, no offense.
and now the Timberwolves have got him and then just tried to plug him into the way that they wanted to play. And it's like, no, that's not how he works. You've got to build around Gobert. You can't just plug him in.
That's because, Rudy Gobert's taking up that paint spot. He's there for the offensive rebounds. And, I mean, and that's also why the Jazz were the number one three-point shooting team in the league the past 2-3 years, was the fact that we were only shooting threes because Rudy Gobert is blocking the paint. So, I mean, if you put 4 elite shooters around Rudy Gobert, yeah, you're going to make Rudy Gobert look like an all-star, DPOY talent because, he's not necessarily in the way of what we need to do. And, I mean, we're still like a high shooting three-point team still, but, I mean, now we're actually taking inside shots. I mean, Rudy Gobert, not Rudy Gobert, Lauri Markkanen, because we were just talking about that guy. Lauri Markkanen, I mean, he's dunking a hell of a lot. And, I mean, if we had Rudy Gobert, Lauri Markkanen wouldn't be dunking. He'd be at the three-point line.
He'd be in the Kevin Love spot, just stand on the perimeter.
Yeah, he would have been exactly what he was in Cleveland for 1 year. He would just been there for the shooting, not there for being an all-star, doing whatever he wants. Now he's doing whatever he wants. And I mean, that's why Lauri Markkanen looks so good, is the fact that he isn't doing what he was on the Bulls. He wasn't doing what he was on Cleveland. He was, he wasn't just a three-point shooter. Now he's a whatever he wants to be.
I think his only problem when he was at the Bulls, though, was injuries.
That is true. He was very injured.
They put a lot of faith in him, and they just couldn't trust his body enough. Like, you're right with what you're saying with Cleveland, though. Like, he was just stand on the perimeter, shoot threes, dude.
And, I mean, surprisingly enough, I thought oh, my God. Lauri Markkanen. Yeah. Keep talking about Rudy, man. I need to get that man out of my head. He's living my head rent-free right now. Lauri Markkanen, I think, when we originally got him, I thought he was going to be out for half the year at this point. I thought he was going to get some major injury, and that was going to be it. But he's stayed healthy, surprisingly.
Sexton's been the one that's out injured all the time.
I didn't want Sexton on the team. I made that loud and clear to everybody. I didn't think we needed him. There was no reason to have him. That trade was pretty much useless. And I mean,
it was just the money. Make the money match, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't need Sexton. Cleveland could have kept him. And I don't really believe that Colin Sexton's that good of an offensive talent. He's just not really what we needed. I'm fine with him.
I like him as a sixth man. Yeah. He's fine. I like him as a sixth man. Oh, I'm getting back to it though. Like, that trade for Gobert has basically screwed this season, I reckon. Nobody knows what anything's worth. Like, what is the actual value of a first-round pick now?
That is very true. That's probably why, the trade market has been dead the past, season. There's only been one trade, and that was
the trade deadline.
Wave people.
The trade deadline is coming up in like 3 weeks, 3 and a bit weeks, something like that. And we haven't seen anything. Like, supposedly John Collins, there is no market out there for him. I was reading something, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
That Atlanta told John Collins' camp, go see if you can find a trade. And they come back, they're like, yeah, nobody wants us.
And I
So
mean,
that's probably got a little bit to do with the way he's been playing this year. Like he's shooting the worst 3-point percentage he has in his entire career. But it's probably also got something to do with nobody knows what anything's worth.
that's
Like
definitely
Atlanta's
it. I
probably
mean,
gone, yeah,
have you seen
we
what
want
they
3
value
first-round
him?
picks for him.
Have you seen the valuation of John Collins on the trade block as well? It's insane.
No.
They pretty much want an all-star back for him.
I know that some teams were calling up about OG Anunoby to
That was
Toronto.
earlier on in this year. I haven't seen anything since.
And they said that they want a Dejounte Murray style package, like what Atlanta had to give up to get to Dejounte Murray from Spurs. Like, and that's what 2 or 3 first-round picks and a swap.
Yeah, it's
Like I love OG. You're not getting that.
Yeah, and I mean, OG is gonna be great for like, putting around like any team because he's a great two-way player. But I mean, DeJounte is a better two-way player. So I mean, there's no way you're gonna be getting that kind of package for him.
I guess because he's a wing, it's turning into a wings league at the moment. Like,
Well, yeah, because all wings at this
but
point
still,
should
like,
be two-way.
you're trading for a guy that's going to be like your 4th or 5th option if you're a championship winning team. Like, yeah, he can defend really well, but you're not giving up 3 draft picks for that.
Yeah.
That's like, what if I'm trading for Bojan Bogdanovic from the Pistons? Like, I've got to give up 2 first-rounders. Like, that's not happening.
Actually, this is what I heard for the trade package: a promising young player and 1 first round for Bojan.
Even then, like, I'm not doing that. That's too much. The dude's like ancient.
The dude's like
having his best season
right now, and yeah, he's doing great. And I mean, credit to him for being this good. But I mean, I don't think any team's picking up a 35-year-old now on a 3-year deal for a solid amount of money too, to where you don't even really want to waive him. And I mean,
it's like I'll give you a promising young player, or I'll give you a first-round draft pick. You're not getting both from me.
you ain't getting both. You'd have Justin Patton, who caught a stray from John Wall the other day.
I don't think I've seen that. I know I've seen that the Clippers have put John Wall on the trade block supposedly.
I think the Clippers at this point are just trying to do anything. Because, I mean, currently on the standings, I mean, the Western Conference is really close to each other on the play-in. Just for record here. So, we'll start off from the 5th seed. Because, I mean, the Pelicans are 26-20. They're far and away. Mavericks are 24-22. The 13th seed, the Lakers, 20-25. Which is roughly about a 5, not even 5, it's let me do math, about a 3-ish game difference from the 5th seed to the 13th seed. So, I mean, the West is really close to each other.
Where are the Kings? Oh, they're 3rd.
The Kings
yeah,
are up
buddy.
And I mean, the ones that are really concerning is the Suns, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, and the Warriors. All these guys are, supposed to be great playoff teams. They're supposed to be back in there, getting at it. But I mean, they haven't proved themselves.
Till start of the year, I'm pretty sure I had Suns, Warriors, and Clippers all in the top 6.
I mean, I think everyone did. I don't think anyone was expecting to see Sacramento 3, Pelicans 4, Jazz number 6. And I mean, right now the West is just so up in the air. And I mean, if it's going to be really interesting, if the Timberwolves made that Rudy Gobert trade, going back to that, just to see the Utah Jazz make the playoffs and them missing it. I mean, at that point,
yeah,
what do you
feel like an idiot?
Like, at that point,
That's the other interesting thing with the trade deadline coming up is like, are any of these teams just going to say fuck it and just give up on the season and blow it up?
I
Like you
mean,
look at a team like
yeah,
Portland, like they have some good assets, but like they're not going anywhere. I
they're not
understand
going
that they've
anywhere
been
because
loyal
they
with
they
Dame,
want Dame. Yeah,
like, and I understand that he's been loyal, but maybe it's time just to blow it up. Like,
and I mean, if you even look at the roster, I mean, you have Anthony Simons, who he's doing really well. He's a young player, but everyone else on the team, Nurkic is 28. I'm pretty sure Jeremy Grant's around that age. Dame's like 32, 33 at this point. I mean, that's such an old team. And I mean, you don't need that high of an age range for multiple years and be the 12th seed. That's just not going to work out too well for you. I mean, same problem with the
like
Lakers. Same problem with the Clippers.
so I think the thing with the Clippers and like the Suns, I think there's an exception. Like the Clippers have played so much without Paul George and Kawhi. Like, I guess it comes to a point where you can't keep giving them that excuse. But like, I'm still giving them that excuse because when those two play together with the rest of their team, they're a pretty good team. Like, it's just they're not on the court enough. And same with the Suns. Like Booker's been out a long time. CP3's missed a lot of the season.
I mean, yeah, injuries are going to be taking a toll on you, but at that point, it's like I don't think the Clippers made the playoffs last year. I mean, yeah, they didn't have Kawhi Leonard, but if you're going to be missing out on both Kawhi and Paul George, the entirety of your season, is there really a point on keeping that team around them?
Well, that's why I was so surprised when I seen that John Wall was up for trade because it means that they're trying to be buyers and like they're still going for it.
I think the Clippers, the Suns, the Lakers, the Trailblazers should all be buying teams or selling teams right now. I think they all should be doing moves at some point within the next month to where one of them picks up a solid player. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a Bojan where you have to lose a first round pick, but like, it needs to be somebody. You need to sign a guy who's going to make a difference. Whether that, be huge or not, y'all need to figure something out.
Maybe the Lakers just got to go back and look at that Indiana trade. What was it? Russ and the 2 future firsts for Hield and Turner.
I mean,
I'd be doing that in a heartbeat.
the only problem is those are their 2 first round picks for like the next 6 years.
Yeah.
And
You can always trade.
everything goes to shit with that, you really have no backup option. You just threw away your backup option.
Nah, you still got a backup option. You trade AD and trade Turner. You still get a first rounder for Hield. He's not ancient yet.
But I mean, yeah, you
Trade
have to do
LeBron.
those. Trade LeBron, you crazy for that one. Anyone who's trading LeBron.
Oh, give him the OKC for like 3 or 4 first rounders. They'd still have like 6
They
to
still
spare.
have like 8 left.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, actually, going into it, OKC, one of the biggest surprises as well this year. 9th in the West so far. And they're actually looking like a really, really promising team. And they don't even have Chet Holmgren in yet.
That's only because Shea's putting up the second most 30-point games in the season. I think he's put up like 25 or something.
And I mean, yeah, he is
Only behind.
He's putting up crazy numbers. But I mean, have you also looked at Josh Giddey too?
Of course.
Josh
Giddey,
he's put up a bunch of triple doubles this season. I mean, he's not necessarily going to be your point scorer, but he's setting up the floor too. And I mean, there's been a few times. I think it's probably around 6, 7, 8 times. I think this season to where he's dropped a triple double, and
that's the thing that a lot of people underestimate with like these young teams that everyone thinks is tanking is like the young players still get better. It's not like they're doing like a Philadelphia the process where it's like yeah, we get these young players and they show signs, and then we trade them for more draft picks. It's like OKC's keeping all these young players, and they're not going to be shit forever. Like,
Yeah, at some point in time, the process is over. And I mean, doesn't
exactly. Like,
Philadelphia
Shai's
still
the
say?
perfect example.
I'm pretty sure the Philadelphia 76ers still say the process. I mean, and they're what yeah, they're the third seed. Like, how much
That's just
longer the
become
process? I mean, also another thing, do the Thunder's mentor is like what, Mike Muscala?
He's been playing pretty good this year when needed, when called upon.
That is true, but like,
There's a bit where there's a time where I was tempted to put him in my fantasy team, actually.
Oh, Kendrick Williams too. Don't forget about Kendrick Williams.
I mean, I don't rate Kendrick Williams, but okay.
And I mean, they have Shea and Josh Giddey, both great pickups. Poku is really starting to, develop. He's starting to become into a really dependable two-way player.
You got Lou Dort.
I think Poku is, he's a 7-footer, and I mean, put him next to Chet Holmgren, Shea, and Josh Giddey. I mean, that is such a tall team. I mean, how tall is Jalen Williams? Because I know he's starting at their small forward right now. He's 6'5". No, Giddey. How tall is he?
I'm watching him play right now. Muscala's on the field.
6'8", Josh Giddey. Let's see, 6'11", Shea.
Shea's like, he's not 6'11", surely.
That is not right. I just looked that up.
I thought he was like 7.
He's probably, yeah, but still, that's insane. Like, 6'11" Shea, 6'8" Josh Giddey, 6'5" Jalen Williams, 7-foot Poku, and what? Chet Holmgren's probably what, 7'1". He's 7'1". You hear the height on that team. Your smallest player is your small forward, for crying out loud. And I mean, that's such a scary team to verse, especially if you're Phoenix, where you have Chris Paul guarding a 7-foot Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, you will literally have no way to stop that in like the next 3 years. Like, and with all of OKC's picks, like, that was so hidden under the radar, no one saw it coming. And now OKC has 16 first-round picks. They have a very promising team that might even make the playoffs this year. How are you going to be able to verse that team in 5 years once, they use 10 of those picks or trade away 10 of those picks? You know how deep that team's going to be? How good that team's going to be?
Yeah, I don't think they'll end up using all those picks. I think that what will probably happen and what they're hoping to happen is they keep Shea, Giddey develops, they get Holmgren back, Pokusevski develops, and then they use whatever draft picks they got left over just to finally land like that final piece. Which is really what New Orleans should be doing this year if they could keep everyone healthy.